At any rate, this is money that has already been appropriated, it's in accounts from projects completed, it's not additional allocations. So Finance Organization and Personnel heard this and thinks it's a good idea and recommends approval.
Okay, are there any further questions or comments? Are there any further streets that anybody would like to see repaired? Are you ready for a vote? All those in favor? Opposed? It's unanimous. Number 7.
We have a Finance Organization Personnel Committee report regarding a memorandum from the Airport Director relating to the PJO Cooley LLC land lease agreement renewal. On a vote of 5-0, the Finance Organization and Personnel Committee recommends that the City Council authorize the renewal of a land lease agreement between the city and PJO Cooley LLC relative to land at the Bill Hopkins Airport. Signed, Mitchell H. Greenwald.
Council Greenwald.
Move to carry out the intent of the committee report.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Council Greenwald.
Ed Mattern, our airport director, brought this issue to us. The PJO Cooley organization owns a hangar at the airport, but they lease the land. The lease is expired, and this has been negotiated. The rent would be adjusted to move it up into compliance with the other land leases that are currently in effect. Change will be made over 3 6-month periods because it is a bit behind, but it will bring it up to current events. So Finance Organization and Personnel Committee recommends that we carry forward this.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, are you ready for a vote? All those in favor? Opposed? It's unanimous. Number 8.
The Finance Organization and Personnel Committee report regarding a memorandum from the IMS Director relating to Cheshire TV's request to increase the cable franchise fee. On a vote of 5-0, the Finance Organization and Personnel Committee recommends that the mayor set a public hearing on the request from Cheshire TV to increase the cable franchise fee from 3.25% to 3.5%. Signed by Mr. Mitchell H. Greenwald.
Council Greenwald.
Move to carry out the intent of the committee report.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Council Greenwald.
Thank you. We have been approached by the Time Warner cable company, Cheshire TV, to increase the franchise fee. This is a process that starts out with a public hearing, which I'm sure the mayor is going to speak about. After that, there's council activities in terms of committee vote and then council vote before this occurs. So if this occurs, it'll be at least 6 months before it happens. Not a big increase, but still they've requested it, and it's important for their operations.
Are there any further questions or comments? Seeing none, are you ready for a vote? All those in favor? Opposed? It's unanimous. I will set the public hearing for August 7th, 2014, which will be our next city council meeting at 7 p.m. This matter will also be referred back to the planning licenses and be referred back to Finance Organization and Personnel Committee. Figure out what we're doing now. No, we're gonna send this back to FOP, but the public hearing will be held on August 7th at 7 p.m. 9.
We have a Finance Organization and Personnel Committee report regarding a memorandum from the Planning Director relating to Southwestern Community Services request for authorization for the proposed West Mill housing development on Railroad Street. And on a vote of 5-0, the Finance Organization and Personnel Committee recommends that the city manager be authorized to sign the site plan application to the planning board by Southwestern Community Services for the proposed development on Railroad Street. Signed, Mitchell H. Greenwald.
Council Greenwald.
Move to carry out the intent of the committee report.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. I believe everybody got a copy of a letter today from Gary Sheldon that raises some concerns about the proposal going forward on Railroad Street. The letter really relates most directly to the ultimate closure of Railroad Street, not to the specific site plan. We've taken a look at that, and the issue that is raised in that letter will have to be dealt with regarding Whitney Brothers when a proposal comes forward to close Railroad Street. But until then, it doesn't affect the site plan, so we're gonna try to go forward with the site plan review. Councilor?
Thank you, Your Honor. Southwestern Community Services is planning a project that would include 26 units of housing for individuals over 62. As part of the process, there's a planning board review of the site plan and the whole project. The city, being the owner of the land, needs to sign the site plan application. There's still the whole planning board process, a public hearing and everything else, so we're not, at this point, discontinuing the road. We're not offering that the plan is completely acceptable. Planning board should do their work. This is just saying that the city manager can sign the application so they can move forward.
Thank you. Are there any further questions or comments? Councilor Duffy.
Thank you, Your Honor. I just want some clarification in the background notes. It states for Mr. Tebow, it's the third paragraph down. Southwest Community Services proposing a 3-story building to serve people who are 62 years and older. Are those people 62 and years and older? Is this subsidized?
Yes, it is.
It is?
Yes,
Okay.
it is. It's a subsidized elderly housing project.
Okay, thank you.
Councilor Jacobs.
Yes, thank you. So just for myself to be clear, by us authorizing the city manager to sign the site plan, we are not approving the site plan? I find that a little hard to follow.
No, we are not approving the site plan. We're simply authorizing them to go forward to the planning board with the site plan. The reason that the city's involved in this at all is that there is a small strip of Railroad Street that fronts on the lot where this project is going to be built. In order for them to go forward, we have to give permission for them to include that portion, that, I think it's about 4 feet wide, strip along the side of Railroad Street within the site plan. They can't go forward, however, even if they get site plan approval, they can't go forward until the city council makes a decision as to what it's going to do with Railroad Street and whether, in fact, we would consider selling that strip of land to the housing project. If we decide not to sell it, they can't go forward. This simply allows them to get the site plan before the planning board. Councilor Roberts.
Yes, Your Honor, just want to get this on the record because I'm a little confused because I've heard this brief a couple of times concerning this. One would say that subsidized housing, and another time we were talking about 2 to 2.5 times the median income in Keene. And if it's 2.5 times the median household income in Keene, I don't see how it could be subsidized housing. So I just have been confused, just like the other project on Water and Grove Street where we were told there was going to be workforce housing, and right now it really isn't workforce housing. So I would just like to put this on the record so we can get clarification before the next time. Is it subsidized housing or is it standalone housing for people, older people, not older, my birthday's coming up, so I can't say. But people who are getting ready to retire of means that are going to take advantage of this. So, because if it's not going to be subsidized housing, and then we're telling the people subsidized housing, I think we're going to make more people in my neighborhood upset as they are concerning the lack of workforce housing that we were told and that was going to be workforce housing.
I'm not in a position where I can answer that question, and I don't think there's anybody here tonight that can specifically answer that question. Councilor Duffy, do you know the answer to that?
Well, Your Honor, I wanted to clarify, and I'm glad Councilor Roberts brought that up as well. As we know in the city manager's message, budget message, this year, and this has been an ongoing issue of concern for many years. And I'm grateful he mentioned it in his opening remarks. We're really pinched. We know the budget process, we know there's a lot of property of highly assessed value in the city of Keene that we're not getting property taxes, we're getting payment in lieu of taxes, which is lower than what we would receive if they were assessed at what private property owners, single-family homeowners, or people who own commercial issues. So I think, that's why I asked, I don't think it's particularly germane to this motion, but I certainly think we need to clarify if this isn't really subsidized housing, or we really know what exactly it is, or are there people earning amounts of money where they're still qualifying and poor people are left out, and these facilities are not paying a fully assessed tax bill. I think that's something we should take a long look at, and I don't think it would be a very comfortable discussion initially, but I think ultimately it's going to be rather necessary.
The issue that you raise is a very real issue, and while it doesn't directly affect what's before us tonight, it certainly is an issue that the council is going to have. It's a public discussion that has to take place, and I'm hopeful that this fall I can get Southwest Community Services together and the Housing Authority together with the city to initiate that discussion. I can tell you that the program under which this particular project is being built is a program that pays a pilot to the city. It does not pay real estate taxes, but it does pay a pilot that will come to the city. In addition, the 99% of the land that this project is being built on, in fact, is already owned by the East Side Housing Project, which is the old Prince's Shoe Factory property. It's currently being used for parking, and this proposal is to build the housing above the parking, which already exists, and I don't believe the parking